Alright, so obviously the biggest news of the day is the new details around the new map coming up, the Resurgence map, Ashika Island. However, I will get back to that in a minute because first I want to go over some other really big changes that are supposed to be coming to Warzone, multiplayer, and DMZ in Season 2 on February 15th. Okay, so one of the first big changes coming is going to be a complete change in the looting system. So instead of usually having to go through a backpack and trying to root through all the stuff and pick out what you want, then release things and whatever else, and put them into your backpack and all that stuff, they're getting rid of that completely and they're going back to the original method they had previously in Warzone 1, where everything's kind of pinatas out around the player that dies, and you can pick from that loot, and I'm assuming it'll auto grab as much as it can. Which sounds great. It sounds like a much more efficient system. However, there is one drawback, and that is the fact that there will be no longer a medium or large backpacks on the ground for you to pick up. So it hasn't been clear yet, but it seems like everyone has the idea that means the third weapon slot will no longer be available in anybody's backpacks, which kind of sucks because that was kind of one of the better parts of having a medium backpack when you could actually find one. Next up, we have perk packages. We can hopefully customize our perks instead of having preset perk packages that we have to choose from, which some of them half the time didn't even work anyway. As of right now, I believe there's already the bird's eye perk has been taken out, disabled temporarily because there's some balancing they want with that, but we are getting the ability to change our perks, so hopefully we can actually fine-tune it to be what we want to play with the way it used to be done. You're obviously still going to be able to buy your regular guns, your primary weapons from the buy station as you could before. That's not changing, but the price points may vary. I think they're also working on some price balances, so hopefully you can still get better guns sooner instead of having to get 2,500, which still isn't that much considering they already dropped it down from 5,000 each gun, so I think 25 is not too bad, but I guess they're going to rebalance it again, so I guess we'll see what happens there. And loadout droppers are obviously still going to be available, so we'll see what that price drop does as well. Next up, another really big change, free plate vests. We no longer have to find them on the ground. That's kind of nice. That means one less thing to worry about, one less thing to have to find, so that's going to be a more balanced approach when it comes to actually fighting, face to face with someone early game and mid game. Even if you have to respawn in late, you're always going to have a 3 plate, so that's kind of nice. They're also making some changes to movements. It's not too clear what they're doing aside from being able to bust through doors while you're plating and a slight speed boost or sprint boost when you're plating. I don't know if that's the same as a sprint when you're playing the way it used to be, or if it's just a small speed boost, but I guess we'll have to wait and see for that. So all around, pretty nice changes. Now, possibly the biggest change that I think everyone probably will like the most is the change in the gulag. Everyone has always been complaining. I mean, they were sort of complaining a lot in Warzone 1 with the way that gulag was set up whenever they were changing it. The original one was terrible until the next one came out, then the original was the best, and that's always going to happen, I suppose. But this whole 2v2 with the jailer and everything else, I am kind of tired of it. Having to rely on a teammate that's probably not your own teammate. Sometimes they're AFK, sometimes they're just not very good. You get what you get. But they're getting rid of that. It's not going to be a 1v1 back to the way it used to be. Hopefully they change up guns instead of just pistols every time, or shotguns, which I hate, but pistols I'm okay with, but maybe they'll change it up a little bit like they used to. We'll see about that. It looks like they are going to include assault rifles and SMGs, if you see in the middle here. So we'll see what happens along that, and hopefully it's a lot better experience, and maybe they'll even change the gulag eventually. Now, moving on to multiplayer, if anyone's still out there playing multiplayer, which I'm assuming I'll get back into once they introduce a few new weapons. As of right now, they're making some audio changes, it seems. Who knows what that could be. They always say they make audio tweaks, and I don't know if you noticed it, but who knows, maybe they will. Some perk balancing, things like that, things like ghost perk, and the timing of the way they have their bonus perk set up is going to change slightly, so I guess we'll find out what happens exactly right there. I don't think it's that terrible, but I guess some people are complaining probably. Next up, obviously going to be some weapon balancing, as there pretty much is with every update. Hopefully they nerf the Fennec, maybe, or the RPK. That would be kind of nice. Maybe get some different metas in the game. That's usually what they try to do whenever they do these big updates, so I guess we'll find out what happens there. And hardcore's a big one. I know I was playing it a lot, or I was playing tier 1 rather, when trying to get long shots for all these guns. They're changing it now. They're going back to hardcore, which is much better because I can't stand. It's one thing to have no HUD, but I hate not be getting markers, not seeing a kill feed, not knowing anything on the map that's going on. It's honestly, I prefer the hardcore method of Modern Warfare 2019 or maybe some other ones, but we'll see how that goes. Hopefully that's a good change and they go back to their roots with hardcore and it'll be more fun. And they're going to, obviously, they'll add some more playlists. But another big one here, ranked play. Supposedly they've been talking about ranked play for a while now. They're saying it's coming up in Season 2. I don't know how much I'll play it because I'm doing a lot of Warzone, but maybe if they have ranked play and it's fun, and maybe I'll go back and try some more. The skill-based matchmaking already was kind of tedious, but maybe with ranked they'll be more easier managed. I'm not sure, but hopefully that's something that they add that's going to be fun and nice addition to the game. We'll see. Now, moving on to DMZ, which I for one haven't really played DMZ except for pretty early on when I was trying to grab the M13 just so I can unlock the gun and be able to level it up. That was really the only reason I played DMZ, because I didn't really care about it before. But just recently I started playing it, and I've actually kind of enjoyed it. There will be some videos coming out here soon on the channel from playing DMZ. The only problem with just getting into it now is the seasonal refresh, which has just come out, that they are resetting tiers, they are resetting your keys, any contraband you have, they are completely setting to 0. All your tiers are going back to 0. Your faction progress is nothing. So that part kind of sucks. It kind of made it difficult to continue playing, so I haven't really played it much since I finished tier 1. Another big problem though people were complaining about was the reset of the insured weapon slot, which originally was reported as a complete reset of everything, including the insured weapon slot, which a lot of people were upset by. I would have been more upset by it if it affected me more, luckily I didn't get that far yet. But later on, as of making this video, I believe it was yesterday or the day before, they actually made an update to it, whether it was public backlash or it was just bad information relayed to the prominent people in the Call of Duty community. No one's really sure. But they did assure you that Infinity Ward came out and said that they will not be resetting your insured weapon slot. So that's at least something. So I'm probably going to grind to finish at least one insured weapon slot, so I have that for before the reset. So that's kind of nice. Now, last but not least, of course, we have the new map, Ashika Island. It is the new Resurgence map for Modern Warfare 2. And here are some pictures of it. Looks pretty cool. The general size of it looks pretty comparable to Rebirth and Fortune's Keep. It looks like there's a lot of neat stuff in there. If you take a look at this one picture here, honestly, the first thing I thought when I saw this was Destroy All Humans 2. Reminded me of the Japanese island where you fight the white ninjas, but that could be coincidence. Probably is. I hope it's not, but it would be kind of cool if they just randomly added aliens in it, because why wouldn't they? Really enjoyed playing Rebirth and Fortune's Keep, so I'm hoping they can kind of keep up that energy and make it a similar style of a game. Yeah, so that's all we got. That's all the updates for today so far. I'm sure there'll be more updates coming out. Hopefully it's good stuff. We'll see if they actually make any of these changes, or how many of these changes, or how they implement these changes, because right now Warzone is kind of dying a little bit, it seems like, and people are getting very upset. So hopefully if they do this update correctly, maybe it'll rejoice the community a little bit, and it'll be a little more fun. We'll find out. But right now, as you can see in the background, this is actually a gameplay that I recorded solo with no webcam or anything or any voiceover, because I actually was not even intending to play this game. I was really just going into the map to get a thumbnail for a different video, and just happened to decide to play it out. So I do go to the gulag here, but as soon as we get out of the gulag, we go out and we fry, and the ending's actually pretty sweet. It actually gets pretty crazy at the end, so stick around to see that. Hope you enjoy this video, hope you enjoy this type of content, and if you do, go ahead and drop me a sub, drop me a like, and I'll see you on the next one. Wolf out.
What? Yeah.
Requesting fire mission. Target marked. Solid copy.
I like loot. Loot's fun.
10 remain. You're got gas moving in. Hostile mortar strike in the area. In. You've got gas inbound. Safe zone relocated. Losing ground. Gas is moving in. New safe zone located. Gas is inbound. Gas is closing. Get to the new safe zone.